Yes, welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Thursday here in Melbourne. Of course, it is a Are You OK Day as well. And of course, let's continue with our sporting theme in particular. And of course, we speak to one of our favourite footy players. And it's been a while since we've actually had her on the show. I was just telling this guest we're about to have on the show. It's been 2015 last time we had on the show when we were in Queensland. Of course, she was playing for a different club then. Of course, it's great to have her back on the show. Of course, her name is Courtney. She joins us from Aspley Football Club. Thanks, Courtney, for joining us.
Thanks, Will. It's great to be back, and yeah, long time coming.
Obviously, the season for the team was over on the weekend, but I guess for the team must have been a pretty tough year.
Yeah, we definitely had a challenging year. I think definitely starting out and then stopping due to COVID definitely didn't help our cause, but we had a really young team, and I think the development of those players is obviously second to none. So hopefully looking to build on that next year. But definitely challenging, but we definitely learned our lessons along the way, which was great.
Now, you mentioned about that, and obviously it's been a pretty tough year in regards to, he's got on the way, played the first 3 or 4 games, then he's had to stop because of COVID and the lockdown, and obviously resuming back about a couple of months ago before the season ended, the home and away season ended last weekend. I guess for you, number one, were you optimistic that you were going to get back underway when the lockdown happened?
I think it was really well. I think when it just got stopped, we thought, okay, that was it. And then pretty quickly, I think AFL Queensland made it pretty clear that they were trying their very best effort to get it back and running. So, yeah, definitely got optimistic by that straight away and just had to keep training and just hope for the best. And now we're obviously been really lucky to be able to play out the season.
Now, you mentioned that the team was a pretty young team, and obviously for you, of course, normally, when we last had you on the show, you were at a different club. Now you've gone to Aspley because obviously I think originally you were going to come back to Melbourne and play down here. I guess, what convinced you to go to Aspley?
Yeah, so obviously it was definitely closer to home, which helped, and I was just a bit over the commute. Obviously, the young team, I've obviously played or coached a lot of those girls through the ranks and through the development program. So I definitely wanted to keep that connection. Obviously also had a connection with our coach, Jacob, and a lot of other people at the club. So just probably that change in environment, try and spark up my ability to play again and just that interest and have fun with my footy.
Now, you did mention of course, in conversations prior to this interview that you did come down to Melbourne, which I didn't even know you did come down to Melbourne to play. For you, what convinced you to make that journey to play in the VFLW?
Yeah, I think last year I was just really looking for something different and new to try and wanted to challenge myself. So I took the opportunity. I had a really good opportunity to train in the off-season with North Melbourne and then continued into the Melbourne Uni program and spent most of the year down there, which is really awesome. And I'm very grateful for those experiences and I've really learned a lot. So I'll be able to get back down there this year. But unfortunately, obviously with COVID, I was a bit safer staying up in Queensland. So played my footy up here.
What have you learned from, especially, I guess, the footy culture down here in Melbourne that you brought back into your team this year?
Yeah, really good question. I think just the training environment, the competitiveness. I think you can't, in Melbourne, girls don't miss a beat. I think every session makes a difference and they work on those finer things. Their skills are next level. And I think in Queensland, we really need to build on that. I think we work really hard on our fitness and sort of just balance that out with the skills, where I think in Melbourne, it's very skill-based and then the fitness complements that. So I think coming back to Queensland, I just really tried to implement those basic little skills and put a big onus on that rather than getting fit and just running for days.
Now, the AFL Grand Final is going to be held in Queensland at the Gabba in Brisbane. Obviously, the women's program in Queensland has been high in regards to AFLW, considering Brisbane have made the grand final the first 2 years. I guess how important is the AFL now in Queensland, especially now with the announcement that the AFL grand final is going to be held in Brisbane?
Yeah, I think it's been massive. I think especially through this period with all the codes of sport coming up here, it's really been a sporting hub and people being able to expose themselves to that. So I think it's definitely got some excitement, and I think people are changing from that rugby following and switching to the AFL, which is incredible for the league. And obviously with the grand final, that's the epitome of the competition. So I think everyone's really excited and doesn't know what Queensland will put on, but I think the excitement's really there.
Now let's talk a bit about your young team. Obviously it's been a tough year. We're not going to mention how the actual team went in wins and losses, but I guess tell us a couple of the young players coming through, and you mentioned that you coached a couple of them as well. Tell us a couple of the young players that we should watch out for in the future.
Yeah, so we've got a few, but definitely two that stand out in my eyes are Lucy Pengelly and Izzy Coyotes. Izzy's quite hard running halfback, hard at the ball, competitive, and I think she's looking really strong to move into her draft year next year. And Lucy, she's great overhead, good run and carry style of footy, and just really clean with her decisions. So they're both really exciting. It's been great playing alongside them this year and really helping them out where I can.
You mentioned about those two players, obviously, we should watch out for. I guess for you yourself, being one of the experienced players and especially one of the leaders there, I guess what have you taught them that you've learnt throughout your footy journey so far?
I think just that resilience to stick at it. I think you can get really caught up, and it's a big step from juniors to the senior program. And I think just obviously with a really tough year, just keeping an attitude and working on those little things that make the difference. It's not about always you doing the flashy things, but as a team, just working together and hopefully get the win on the board.
Now let's talk a bit about the lockdown side of things between the two separate seasons. Did the team do any challenges or anything like that before you got back onto the training field?
Yeah, we started a little training log. We had a bit of a competition of different training sessions, most creative session, cumulative training sessions, and we really tried to change it up. So some girls were out cycling, hiking, different things like that, push-up challenges. So just tried to really, like everyone, do the variety and really spice it up and see what everyone had. So that was really exciting for us.
Now let's talk a bit about your coach. You mentioned about him before, because I know him pretty well from coaching at another club close by, because in the same competition. I guess what convinced you to head back to Aspley, and especially, obviously not just the club, but you mentioned that before, but especially to be coached under Jacob?
Yeah, I think he really offers a extravagant style of coaching, if anything. He puts a lot of hard work into it, and it's all decision making drills and things like that, and lots of gameplay. I think another thing that he does above and beyond is we have education prior to training nights. So we spend an hour, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, small groups, just looking at vision and working out what we can do better. And I think obviously from him coaching me previously in state teams and things like that, I just wanted to reconnect and thought it was a great place to go.
Let's talk a bit about your footy journey now, Courtney. Where did it all start and why did you choose it?
Yeah, so I started back in high school, so about 7 years ago now, and I just was kicking the footy, and then someone told me you should try out for the rep team, so down I went. Taylor Harris obviously offloaded 7 handballs for me that game, and I kicked 7, so that was nice. So yeah, from there, just took from there and went down to training and just went back from there. So I've continued on.
Now, I know one of your highlights would have been the premiership that you won at Wilston Grange, the club that you did originally come from. Tell us a bit about that year. And actually, it wasn't that long ago. So I think it was like 2-3 years ago that he's won it. I guess tell us a bit about that season.
Yeah, so 2 years ago at Grange, we had a lot of girls, probably similar age to me, quite young. We also had some experienced heads like Brittany Gibson, who's now at North. So we just really gelled together. We worked hard, and it took a good 2 years probably in the program for us to really take the reins and get the win in the end. But it was an incredible year. We had a really good, probably strong 15 players that probably knew it was our last year at Grange, or were all looking to do things after footy that year. So we just put our best foot forward as soon as possible, and just all added up, which was lovely.
And what did that premiership mean to you, Courtney? And especially, obviously, you mentioned it's been I guess a couple of years, I guess in the making, leading up to that premiership. What did that all mean to you? And you'll wear that medal around your neck after that premiership.
I look at it a few times, but I think just obviously it means to me. I think everyone says like there's nothing like a win, like a grand final win. So to actually experience that and know what it's about, and the whole week leading into and after, I think it was just an incredible experience. And reflecting back, I think the girls that played that day, we were just an incredible group that really clicked and made it work. We weren't all that talented, but we definitely just worked together, and it clicked week in, week out, and we just loved playing footy.
Now, well, you pretty much almost answered my next question. What does the sport of footy mean to you, and especially playing there at Aspley?
Yeah, I think Aspley, playing at Aspley has been a lot of fun. I know the win-loss record probably doesn't show that, but I think the relationships we've built this year and the foundations that we've put in place, and I think the lows have really brought us together. So I think it's been a really tough year, but being able to lean on the person next to you has been incredible. So I think probably just those relationships with other players, the coaches, people at the club, the support you get is what really thrives and make it happen for me.
Now, do you have any future ambitions in the sport of footy for you, Courtney?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to obviously get drafted if I can. But if that doesn't work out, I'd love to get in the coaching scene eventually. Obviously, I'm still really young, so that's probably a longer prospect there. But overall, I just keep playing footy. I just love it. So just whatever happens, really.
And what will be your advice to our listeners out there that should get involved in footy, especially there at Asprey and down there at Graham Road?
Yeah, just give it a crack. I think if you're looking for a change or something different, and want a new friendship group or something to do on the weekends, I think you should definitely come down and join in the fun and see what it's all about.
Now let's finish up with a couple light-hearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, any embarrassing moments on the field by anyone?
I don't know if we had too many this year. Probably, if you asked everyone else, it would be me this year. I won a clearance and ran the wrong way. That was. No, I can't think of any others from. Probably a few dropped chest marks and things like that.
Who's the comedian in the team?
Comedian would have to be AK.
Best singer and dancer in the team?
Oh, I'm going to go Kath Page for that one.
Now, I know this is a thing called TikTok. Has any of the girls just used it so much or so many times?
Probably Izzy's on there a bit, and those younger crew, so they definitely try and get us older heads involved for a laugh. So, yeah, they're definitely all on it.
Now, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
No, don't really have anything. Bit of pump-up music. I like eating 2 chicken snack wraps on the way, and usually a bit of a frozen Coke. But that's about it.
And talking about pump-up music, does the team have like a pump-up song before a game? If so, who runs that playlist?
Oh, our playlist is run by Michaela Campbell, and it's on Spotify. It's called How Good's Footy, if you're interested. But we all just contribute to that one, but that's pretty much the pre-game vibe.
All right, we'll definitely check that out on that one. And we'll finish off with two final ones, which is now during this COVID lockdown restrictions that he's had in Queensland before he's got back to some normality. Did you do anything new, and did you find a hidden talent that you didn't think you had?
I did do something new. I bought a road bike, so I really got into cycling, and a few of the other girls did the same. So that made it very interesting. I didn't find a hidden talent. I really tried to improve my yoga and my headstands, but I am unsuccessful.
Oh. And of course, we'll finish off with this one last one. Obviously, with the final series coming up this weekend, starting this weekend, who do you think is going to go all the way?
Tough question. I think if Cooperoo have all their AFLW players playing, I think there's no question they should get it together. If not, I think Maroochydore is a really good underdog to tap in there. I think their first final series, and I think they've similar to us. They've got a really young team, and they'll be running the whole field down. So I think if they can get on top of a team and it's a nice dry day, they're away to the cup there.
Well, Courtney, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome finally have a chat with you again. It's been way too long since we last had you on the show. So it's great to have you back on the show, and obviously best of luck going into the 2021 season. Hopefully for the mighty Hornets that you can climb that ladder up in 2021 and challenge a couple of course, the top teams, and hopefully into the finals in next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Will. Yeah.
No worries. And that's Courtney there from the Aspley Hornets Football Club. Of course, make sure for next season you can get down and support them in 2021 down at Graham Road throughout the season in the QAFLW. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on Are You OK Day.